Okay, so let's make sure we really understand this story problem here. In section 3.3, we modeled the share of alcohol consumption, H of T and B of T, for hard liquor and beer respectively by the system, and then S was share, so H of T equals 0.375 T plus 29, and B of T equals negative 0.5 T plus 58. Okay, so on the graph, label each function, which we did because we figured out that B of T was going down, H of T is going up. For what values of T is H of T greater than B of T, right? And then that was where we kind of left off. So we found that they were equal at 33.4 because we found that back several pages ago on page, I'll have to go find it, page 54, 53, 54, somewhere in there. Yeah, 54. We found that they were equal. And then, by the way, just on a side note, remember this was since 2000. So just a reminder, that's our starter year. So we'll have to keep that in mind for when we get to our explanation part. So let me just kind of put that in here real quick. Okay. Okay, so then from the graph, we can see, okay, the hard liquor is larger, higher, right? The Y values are higher here over on the right-hand side where that black solid line is above the blue dotted dashed line. So then that means that from this point on, 33.14 is when they're equal. Everything to the right of that, the H of T will be larger. In fact, let me draw you a little picture in here. From 33.14 over, let me make that. Okay. So now I need a way to say that in terms of English, right? So it's all well and good to talk about it like that. Oops. That's kind of what I want, but not quite so big. But anyway, so from this point over to the right, that's what we're saying here in this little gray part right here. From T is greater than 33.14. Now the trick is we have to explain what it means. So remember 33.14, since this was since 2000, that's 2033. So from 2033 on or onward, we expect hard liquor to have a greater share of alcohol consumption than beer. I'm not sure why I'm capitalizing hard liquor. It's not a brand name. All right, hard liquor. That's what it means in terms of the situation. From that point onward, or after 2003, that might be another way to say it. It's not quite so British. After 2033, we expect hard liquor sales to have a greater share of alcohol consumption than beer or hard liquor. Now let's do this by hand. You'd be excited. Okay, so we did it with just by looking at a graph. And you know what, real quick, let me get a graph of these on my calculator. So if I grab my calculator, y equals clear, let me type those in. So 0.375x plus 29. Oop, not 2 x's. That's not good. There. And then negative 0.5x plus 58. Enter. And then we had a window, but you can kind of see it in here. It's from a window from before. We want 0 to 50. Tick marks I don't care about. And then 0 to 60. That's my Y's. There you go. There's hard liquor. There's beer. So if you didn't have it like that from before, you could still calculate the intersection by using calc number 5 intersect. Yes, that's my first curve, enter. Yes, that's my second curve, enter. Move your thing closer to the right, your cursor closer to the right, press enter. And there you go, 33.14. So you can still figure this out using, your by hand methods. And you can also check the table. After 33, it gets down to values that are, hold on. Remember, Y1 was the hard liquor and Y2 was the beer. So you can see after 33, the hard liquor is bigger than the beer. And so that's another way to spot it as well. So all that's backing you up, but it's not doing it by hand. It's doing it using the calculator and some graphing. So doing it by hand, you want to know when h of t is greater than b of t. Okay, well, h of t was 0.375 t plus 29. I want that to be greater than negative 0.5 t plus 58. So we're going to solve this for t. Okay. We want to get the two t parts together on the same side. I personally like the t's over on the left. I figure, that's kind of good. So I'm going to add 0.5 t to both sides. All right. Oops, plus. I forgot my plus symbol there. Cool. All right, plus 0.5 t. Now, on the right-hand side, that's all going to disappear, right? Because that's the reason you're doing it, is to make that go away. Oops, not like that. That's not good. There we go. Okay, so then what does that leave you with? That's 0.875 t plus 29 greater than 58. Now we're going to subtract the 29 because you want to get the t out of there. So minus 29, do it to both sides. So you're going to get 0.875 t is greater than 29, I think. Right? Now notice I didn't flip the sign because that was subtraction. Subtraction's fine. It's division that you got to watch out for, and multiplication. So then I'm going to divide by 0.875, both sides. And this is totally fine because it's a positive number. I'm not worried about the flipping of the sign. Right? Since I'm dividing by a positive 0.875, everything is golden. So it's going to be t is greater than 33.14. Again, I just did that with a calculator. There you go. Just like we said it was. That's inequality notation. They didn't actually specifically ask for it, but let me just remind you. Inequality, I could spell quality notation. And then for interval notation, that would be 33.14, comma, infinity. And that would be interval notation. They're both completely correct answers. So that's how to do it by hand. All done. And if you like, let me go grab a picture of the number line there. Hold on. There we go. So you can see it's kind of a replica of that number line. The x-axis is a number line. You don't need to have the second dimension of the y-axis for this. All I'm really asking about is, hey, where on the x-axis, what values on the x-axis, or in this case, to be honest, it's the t-axis. Let me change that. There we go. So it's the t-axis. So it's saying, hey, what values on that axis is the hard liquor higher up, bigger than the beer? And it's from 33.14 on. All right, we are all done with that. And I think we are done with Chapter 3. So I will see you back here possibly for more videos in Chapter 4. See you then.